My name is Sonny Jacobs, and I was wrongly convicted and sentenced to death in the state of Florida in 1976. At the time, I had two young children, and they were taken away from me. I was the only woman at the time sentenced to death in Florida, in the whole United States. And so I was put into solitary confinement, where I would remain for another 5 years until finally my sentence was changed because the judge illegally sentenced me to death, and I would spend another 12 years in the prison, 17 years altogether, until finally we were able to prove my innocence and I was released. At first, when I was wrongfully convicted, I was devastated. I didn't know how to manage this situation. I thought they would know me for 5 minutes and they would know I wouldn't kill anybody. I was a mother and a hippie, peace and love, a vegetarian. I don't even eat meat. Why would I kill anybody? So I thought, this is ridiculous. The truth will come. I will be fine. But that was not the case. And then they put me in isolation, and I wasn't prepared for that either. Being completely isolated in a cell, all by yourself with people who hate you. And I think it was, aside from the fact that they wanted to kill me, being hated, I think, was one of the most devastating things. I had never been hated before. People actually, you can feel it. They hate you. They want you to be dead. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life like that. If it was going to be short, like they said, and they would kill me, or long, and they would realize I was innocent and let me go. Either way, I didn't want to be angry and afraid. So I decided that I would start to do meditation, prayer, and yoga. And this became my trinity. And this saved my life. Every once a year, actually, Peter and I would be asked to go to the Peace Center in Ireland. We would speak to the students in the activist class. And so we would tell them, take care of yourself. We get so busy fighting for the cause. That's why I say it's a quest. You can't fight all the time. You can't stay angry all the time. It's not good for you. So I fight today. I fight. I do it. And then, now the day is over. Have you done everything you could do today? Yes. Okay. Well, then it's time to plant your garden. It's time to show your children that being an activist is not all blah, 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 blah. An activist also has a life. An activist has beauty. An activist has joy in their life. So it's very self-care. This is what we would teach activists, that when the day is done and you have done everything you can today, then plant your garden, enjoy your children, enjoy all those things that the people you're fighting for would wish that they could have. I'm sure. I know that the public opinion about the death penalty is definitely changing. I should share with you that at one point we started to go in the street and ask people, what do you think of the death penalty? So anyway, we find out they don't care about the death penalty. They only want to be safe. Now we understand. Now we can approach it from the right way. It's not really about the death penalty. It's about people feeling safe. So we say, okay, what if we keep them in prison and they're not going to get out? You're never going to have to worry about this person coming out and doing anything bad. Would you accept that? Yes. That's how they came up with life without parole, which I also do not believe is right. But at the time, we thought it was the only way that people would accept an alternative to the death penalty. So that's what happened. And now we have all this life without parole, which is a crime in itself, to take away all hope from someone, to think that a person cannot improve. What is our goal? To have a better society. Okay. So if our goal is to be safe and have a better society, then maybe keeping people in prison and helping them to learn to be better people, give back for the terrible things they did, maybe find out that they really are so sick that maybe they can never go out. But at least even in prison, they can be positive. They can have a positive influence. So there's always hope for somebody. And if we take away hope from them, we take also away hope for ourselves. We take away hope from the young people who are having problems, and they decide, I may as well just go create death by police. I think they call it now. It's called death by police. They do something terrible, so the police will come and kill them. So I do believe that society is changing its opinion about the death penalty. Definitely, you can see that because, God bless the African countries, many of them now have done away with the death penalty. They are the leaders now in human rights. America? Well, America is going through its own period of adjustment now. They used to tell me that when America did away with the death penalty, the rest of the world would follow. And that was, I believe that, and that was true. Now, maybe the dynamic is changing a bit, and maybe America will follow Africa this time. You know, the dynamic is definitely changing, but I do have hopes that people will ultimately. Peter always said, people are basically good. I used to say, Peter, I think people are basically good and bad. And it's up to us to rise above, like the chakras, come up from number 1 to number 7. But I do believe that ultimately, again, it's a choice. And often it depends on economics, which is sad, but real. That in the United States, things will turn around before they go too much the other way. And that people really do want things to be better. And I don't think anybody really wants killing to be the answer, It's just when they feel it's hopeless, when there's no other choice, then that's what happens. But we do have choice. And Peter always used to say, war is a terrible waste of life, because in the end, now he was from Ireland, so Ireland dedicated, so I love Ireland because it's a whole country that has dedicated itself to peace. And they have put it in their constitution that the death penalty can never be brought back. Because they realize that human nature, something terrible happens and all of a sudden there's a cry for the death penalty again and it can come back. So they knew, as a nation, we've had enough killing, enough death, enough families grieving. And so they made it impossible to bring back the death penalty in the Constitution. Peter used to say that war is a terrible waste of life because in the end, we always have to sit down and talk. So why not just avoid all that and just sit down and talk? And we find common ground. We find out, like we did with the death penalty, what it is you really want. And then we work to make it possible, to make it acceptable to all sides. And then we have it. So simple, huh? So all we have to do, we have to choose. As people, as societies, we have to choose. And then we can make it happen together. But the together is, I think, the key. So together, we can accomplish anything. On our own, sometimes we just have to find a way to maintain and not be destroyed until we can get together again.